Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks so much for joining me here. Hope having a great day. 65,000 for Bitcoin. What is going on here? Quite the reversal. Let's see if this is worthwhile or if it's just kind of another false positive. We do see a somewhat of rejection here at this most recent low with a lot of candle wicks at 65.5. That's an initial first rejection, so maybe don't consider it as like something definitive, but at this point we want to kind of look and consider all angles. So if you're new to the channel, I just want to say thanks so much for watching. Hope you can learn something today. CryptoCache.tech is the site if you want to become a better trader. We've got quite a few new members coming over. Keep in mind there are limited slots available for the month, but the reason I mention that is just because with the new members coming over, it's important for you to maybe select the coins you want me to make sure to cover or get alerted on the trade alerts. This is a new function for our community, and it's important to recognize that we do have some awesome extra features that may not be enabled. So make sure you go up to, browse channels, right click and show all, or just make sure you go into browse channels and enable the ones you want. But for the most part, everything is recommended because there's a lot of good resources there. Anyways, read through the signals guide, get to know the community. Welcome aboard. All right, so let's look at the Bitcoin dominance in a minute. Back end data here for liquidation first, okay? So as we summarized earlier, between 60 to 62,000, the amount of liquidation is quite heavy. Any one of these yellow bars is somewhere in the range of 5 to 6 billion. So what, 5 times maybe a good 10 to 15 bars there? We're looking at a pretty solid amount of liquidation, okay? So that's still present, that's still there. Keep in mind it doesn't necessarily have to go anywhere, but the fact that that's there and we're closer to that implies we could see further downside. I'm a little bit more along the lines of the price action pulling back to fill the CME gap here, which is quite substantial, between roughly 58.5 and about 61,000 is a round number. So we're getting close to that, which is nice, and a solid bounce off 60K would be sensible. But at this point, we can't rule out the fact that the price could continue to pull back. The thing we do got to recognize, though, is we did break through the most recent high, which is a good sign. We're establishing the more recent high as a new low, potentially, so we'll find out if that happens soon. But generally speaking, these are good little shifts of momentum, okay? So again, a lot of the times what you'll see is a breakout like this that happens. That's kind of a false positive. And the reason why it's generally going to be false is because of the amount of volume. So if you do take a look at the volume here, this is nothing substantial, nothing to write home about. It really just implies that the selling pressure is dissipated and or stopped for the moment, and that whenever people are buying, it just goes up and there's no resistance. Okay, that's generally a good sign, but it's also kind of a false positive, right? So keep in mind, I don't trust this. It doesn't seem right, but if we will, again, I've got this. This is definitely a stretch. It always is at first, and keep in mind, patterns do play out at a higher success rate, but that's only after they get further in. So again, we're not there yet, but hypothetically, we do have somewhat of a head and shoulders here forming. Very premature, just throwing it out there. But I do like to kind of give you heads up on those things because a lot of times they'll end up playing out. And if they do, it's just kind of a good thing to be mindful of. Let's look here at the daily time frame, work our way down. So first things first, we pivoted off the 50-day SMA pretty well. Now we have the 20-day SMA running concurrent with this ascending trend line, and it's likely the new resistance. So this is oftentimes why you see a bearish backtest of an ascending trend line that essentially puts you in a position where the price action turns itself around. So if you see here this ascending type of trend, while it's not exact, it is fairly concurrent. The price action breaks below, comes back up, likely to reject. My speculation is we're going to see a strong rejection between 66 and 67,000. I would like to short 66,000, so I might even consider opening a trade right now to hope it gets filled and to go with that, right? Again, this is all based off previous bounces and general areas of support and resistance, and we've known for some time that 67,000 is a strong resistance. And if we kind of look at this here recently, 66.5, low 66,000 is a large point of control. So again, just some things to be mindful of. We do take a look at the daily here. We can see that we're still maintaining 50 on the RSI. This is generally a favorable sign. So again, shorting into this may not be the most advisable. The short that I'm considering is a little bit more of a micro play. It's not like a big long-term one. I guess you could speculate and say that it is a long-term play because I do think the CME gap will still get filled now that we're much closer to it. But again, from a bird's eye view, when you see this here, generally it's a positive sign showing we have a lot of support in this range, okay? Which is true. Obviously, the price went from 70,000 a few days ago down to mid 62,000. Yeah, I think it's about time the price recovered and started slowing down. In fact, we do see this here. Take a look at this. We got three red candles, basically commonly referred to as three black crows for our candlestick pattern. And of course, we have a hammer doji candle here closing on the fourth day. It's very, very standard. It's really common. I talked about this earlier. 3 red days followed by a fourth green day. The inverse applies as well. Here we had 3 green days followed by a fourth red day. So just something to be aware of now with today's recovery. It doesn't mean tomorrow's going to be green as well. It just implies that we had a solid, hey, we're taking our stand here. But once more, the volume to me personally doesn't seem to be phenomenal on the smaller time frames. Either way, that's where we're at here on the daily. Generally favorable, but not amazing. Okay. All right. Keep in mind too, I forgot to mention this, that stochastic RSI is trying to converge, and generally speaking, that can lead to an initial reversal, which obviously we just saw that. So it's somewhat of a redundancy there. Anyways, 4-hour time frame. Bounced perfectly off the 200-day SMA as we talked earlier as the last line of defense. It held fairly strong. We can see 50 on the RSI still not breaking. So hypothetically, if the price comes up here to 66,000, which is probable, and it rejects off that level, then we'll just get that natural rejection off 50 on the RSI. It's common for 50 on the RSI to line up with a lot of support and or resistance levels. And with us being below it, we can presume it's going to work as a resistance until it's broken. Okay. Same thing here with stochastic RSI swinging up. We got good momentum on the upside, but it may top out here soon. And of course, money flow index is coming back up, but it's not a dramatic increase. MACD is trying to converge here, so we may see a convergence on the horizon here, which would imply that the 4-hour time frame is shifting momentum. And again, a strong 4-hour candle does tend to do that to the charts, but it's not. We need to continue to see this kind of volume in order for that to maintain itself. And overnight, with the Asian market opening here, I'm not super convinced we're going to see a dramatic increase. They're commonly known for taking profits whenever there is a green day. They usually the market will end up going down. They'll pump it too, don't get wrong, but it just seems more often than not when there's a strong pump going into it, they're more likely to reverse that. Take a look here at Ichimoku Cloud. Let's go ahead and see here. We are still below the cloud. Lagging span is technically free and clear of the price action, but barely. And the conversion line and baseline are intermixing, or intertwining, whatever. When they're together like that, it really just tells you there's not a lot of momentum, even though you feel like this is, unless we can establish ourselves here and maintain ourselves above the most recent local high at about 64,900. As I mentioned previously, that is a resistance range. That level may hold. We might see the price action continue to go up. Okay, but me personally, when I look at this here, I see this point of control at 66,000. I'm going to go ahead and go with the odds here that we're going to see rejection there, and that the price action is more likely to decrease. In fact, it would be fairly awesome if that were to happen, to give us the nice good old cup and handle pattern down to that CME gap. Now keep in mind, if we take a short at 66,000, it's going to take a lot. It's going to need to get through 67,000 too. And that's a strong resistance range based on the local point of control for the last couple of weeks. If we combine and put all that together, there's a lot more likelihood the price is going to reject out here soon if it goes any higher. Once more, stranger things can happen, and it's totally normal. And if we do end up closing above 67,000, that would invalidate a short trade taken at 66 as a rough estimate. Again, it's not exact. What we want to do here, let's draw out some smaller time fibs, because we got our large fibs up here as well. And just to kind of give you perspective, let's go ahead and overlap them a little bit, so you can kind of see, generally when Fibonacci retracement levels intertwine or connect, that gives you a lot of resistance. So if we look here, what do you know? Point of control, 0.236 fib level, and also the 0.5 on the micro. So when we combine those two together, that gives us a strong superpower at 66,200. So my speculation is the price action will reject off the point of control at 66.2, and we'll see the price action continue a lot lower from there, if it even makes it up that high. Lately, honestly, I've been trying to take trades like this, and we keep missing out because the price doesn't actually go up to that resistance. It stops out at earlier resistance levels, or just loses its steam and can't go any further. I'm anticipating we might see a little bit higher though, just based on us breaking our more local high, or more recent high here at 64.9. That could be the local pivot there, and effectively just work its way up the ranks to reject out here and start fizzling out. It could even just drop right now and we miss out on an opportunity, but generally speaking, that's why I like to average into positions just to ensure we get filled. But lately, I don't really like doing that, just based on how crazy and nonsensical the market is. Again, I've missed tons of opportunities, but of the opportunities we took, a lot of good ones have happened, actually, as a matter of fact. Well, we secured healthy profits on AVAX, third target, 44%, ICP, 36%. Our previous ICP trade from last week, we got 39% from that guy. Solana, 32%. There's some decent benefits here. We previously took trades on Bitcoin as well, but that one actually closed at trailing stop loss once we secured profit because of how strong the price action pushed up after that. Either way you look at it, this is all good news here, folks. I don't think Bitcoin is out of the runnings yet. Even if we come down to 60K, it's going to be a welcoming option for not only our spot bags, but more importantly, sweep that lower liquidation level, take some super, super awesome longs from that level, and it's going to be great. Again, it's no guarantee it's going to hold. We got to reevaluate when we get there, but the truth is it probably will, okay? And we'll talk more about that if and when the time comes, okay? So thanks so much for watching. If you learned something, comment below, like, subscribe, follow, absolutely appreciate it. And obviously to my newer community members, make sure you watch through our university videos. They are available on the Discord now too, just as a quick link, but this is available through our website. And then obviously make sure you take advantage of this benefit or offer through Bitunix, links down below for this. You previously used my link to register, you're automatically eligible. Just deposit and enjoy the futures bonus. All right, folks, have a good rest of your day. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.